Hello, and welcome to the Video Game AV Club, a podcast where we talk about video game themed movies and TV shows. Subsidiary, yes, of the Video Game Book Club, another podcast where we talk about video game books. Oh boy, that's not going to be the intro. That's not the winner right there. That's not it. I need to figure something else out. Anyway, we watched the Borderlands movie and we just got back from it, ices in hand.
Yeah. Hello, Vault Hunters.
Not dwellers. That is Fallout. Vault Hunters.
So we went and had a whole experience because we went to a Cinemark to see this, and we sat in the D-box seat.
The D-box.
Which is now the only way to see these types
Are you
of
ready
movies.
to get your D's boxed? Okay. So it's like a theme park chair.
Yeah, it's like a motion ride chair.
Yeah, and you sit in it, and
it moves, and it vibrates, and it goes with the action, and
the
it's expensive, but what an experience.
How much was it?
It's like $20 a seat.
That's not too bad.
Which,
I mean, it's a lot for a movie, but I thought it would be way more.
Mm.
I think it's the only way to see movies now, because, like, why not make it a theme park experience instead of just sitting there watching a movie?
Yeah, it was, you can also, like, change the intensity of it.
Yeah, I put up to max intensity because I wanted to feel it all. Like, the seat also moves. So not only does it shake, but it picks you up and it slowly rotates you around.
Yeah, it moves you from, like, side to side, just, like, lightly, so it's not disrupting the people around you.
You can still eat popcorn during it.
Yeah.
Although, be careful. I still am, like, I don't know if you, because I had it up to max. Maybe eating popcorn wouldn't have been great.
Yeah.
But
we saw a multitude of previews too, and there was that new Smile movie, and the
horror movie had the motion sensor. Like some trailers have.
So I think any car movie and probably a horror movie, this would be the seats to get to watch.
Any action film.
Yeah, like a Mad Max would be good.
Yeah, anything with cars. Wouldn't it be funny to sit in those seats for like a romantic comedy and just to see what moves?
It ends with us. It doesn't move at all. I don't know.
Then you pay $20 and it doesn't move at all. Anyway, back to Borderlands. So yeah, what's our overall thought? Before we go into spoilers, what's our overall thought?
This movie, when it came out, and the immediate article was, this movie got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. And then by the end of that day, when that article came out, it was up to like 7. That's critics. It's like 50-ish for viewers. So we went into this movie, playing Borderlands and knowing that this movie was going to be ridiculous. And knowing that information before we went. So I did not go in with high hopes.
I went in with very low expectations because the fact that I was like, they're making a Borderlands live action. The game is cell shaded, like
with like really big name people.
Why are they doing this? So I had very low expectations, and I came out of it. I think it's okay.
I think it would have been better if they would have changed it up from what they did. I think cinematically, I thought it was like good. Like the sets were awesome. Lilith's hair is like the best wig I think I've ever seen. That thing did not move, and it was.
I thought I think it's better than Borderlands 3. The entire plot of this movie is better than Borderlands 3. And I didn't think it was that bad. Like, there's a billion and 10 ways you could mess up Borderlands.
Yeah.
And I think our boy Eli Roth, who directed and wrote it, and
he was not in it though, which
he might have been a
surprising
bandit.
to me.
He might have been a bandit. We don't know.
He likes to show his face though,
so can't have that. Gotta see his big old teeth. I think he cared.
Yeah. And I think he also made it so that it was more family friendly than it probably would have been. So the language in Borderlands is not in the movie. Like, I think they say a curse word like twice.
Yeah, it's pretty tame actually for Borderlands, which is probably why I thought that they wouldn't animate a Borderlands, because it would be an adult animation, and those don't usually do well in theaters. This was fine for all families, and we saw a bunch of kids there.
But also, some of
the trailers were not family friendly, so I was like, whoa.
You and I are in agreement that Tiny Tina, although is a good character.
Tiny Tina is a good side character, as in you get quests from her, and she's quirky and works with the world.
And you see her for 5 minutes.
And I'm so tired of seeing Tiny Tina, and I don't know why she became so popular that she got her own game, but I'm not a Tiny Tina fan.
Yeah, she's a
Children should be seen and not heard.
she is not a central character. And we were definitely missing some characters.
We were missing some characters, but I feel like some people had to get cut.
Yeah.
They don't have...
But there was so many homages to other things in the game, like Easter egg stuff, that again, you could tell that Eli Roth is a fan of the Borderlands series.
He might have even read the god-awful book.
There's a scene in the movie.
It's the beginning of the movie.
And
the beginning
I just look over at Savvy and I was like, oh no, it's the book.
The beginning of the movie mirrors the first book about Roland so much that I was like, oh no. Oh no. Is this because I remember in the Halo TV show that just got canceled. Huzzah. They were like, we didn't play any of the games. We only read the books. And everyone's like, I'm sorry, what? And it shows. So I was like, oh my god, did this guy not play any
do your homework. You didn't even try.
And they're proud of it too. They're like, I've never played icky video games. I've just read the books. And you're like, why would you say that? You look so stupid.
Do your research, man.
Anyway, that's what I was afraid of. I was like, did Eli Roth just read the 3 Borderlands novels and he didn't play any of the games? But I mean, I don't know if he did or didn't.
Yeah, there was some things that were definitely missing, especially if you've played all the games. And things that are like essential Borderlands stuff, but then there are definitely like nods to things. So there's so much stuff in Borderlands. A lot of it's repetitive, but
well, it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
the looter shooter. Also, my one critique: they didn't throw a gun and it didn't explode, and then a gun came back.
Or they didn't dematerialize and rematerialize.
Nope, they never did. They never got...
Which they could have absolutely done. Maybe they ran out of budget.
Maybe they just didn't want to confuse
it on the fireworks.
The modern moviegoer with death and coming back.
I think they could have done that.
They could have done that. Well, we'll talk about in spoilers where we think they could have done that, because I have another theory than you about how they could have used that.
So in all, I would not recommend seeing this movie in theaters, but I would.
Unless you get in that chair.
Yeah, it's not worth the theater price of it, but I think that it's worth watching when it comes on streaming.
I think if you like Borderlands, I don't think this will offend you that much. I think it's fine.
I'm honestly really surprised that they got as many like big name people. Do you want to go over them?
Yeah, we'll go over them now.
Or...
That's not a spoiler.
So Lilith is our protagonist, and she's played by Cate Blanchett, who has been in so many things. She was in the Lord of the Rings movies. I thought she did a good job.
The most intense cheekbones I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, she's
got those cheeks on her face.
She's also like an older lady, but she looks freaking fantastic. Yeah, she's been in quite a few things.
How old is she in comparison to Jamie Lee Curtis?
Let me check. So Cate Blanchett was born in 1969.
Nice.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is the professor.
She's Tannis. The quirky vault person who's like in all the games.
So she's like 10 years younger than Jamie Lee Curtis.
Cate Blanchett?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they played it like she was a kid and Jamie Lee Curtis like knew her as a child. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, but how old are they in difference?
So it's like 11 years. 10 to almost 11
That could work. Because Tannis could have been like 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Then we have Kevin Hart is another main character. He plays Roland. Which is funny because they do make a comment at the beginning of like the shortest soldier, because you can't have Kevin Hart in a movie without making a short joke. But he was not his normal like comedic self in this, which was interesting.
You're right. He was kind of a straight man in this one,
and he was a good soldier. Like he was a good shot. And
Roland's kind of a boring character, and I think he played it very well.
Mm-hmm. Ariana Greenblatt is Tiny Tina.
I've never heard of her before.
She was in the Barbie movie. And she played...
what?
She played Sasha. She played the
daughter?
The daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was in The Heights. She plays young main character, so she was like young Gamora in Avengers Infinity War. She was young Ashoka in Ahsoka. Oh, I said Ashoka. She played young Nina in the Heights. So
She played young Nina and young Tiny Tina.
and she's played young Velma. She is the young.
She's the young one.
And then out of our core group, there is Craig, who was played by Florian Montino. I apologize. And he is
very hunky.
Yeah. He did an awesome job.
The funny thing about him is that they just had pre-recorded bandit lines for him. So the only lines that he said in the movie were lines that the bandits said.
But he said them with such an intensity that it was very...
He said them to match the situation, too.
But he's also been... He was in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. He was in Creed 2.
I don't hate that idea that they just had him say pre-recorded Borderlands bandit
He was in
lines.
Vikings. Our villain, I guess, I don't know if that's a spoiler, is Atlas, and he's played by Edgar Ramirez. We already said Tanis. I forgot Jack Black.
Jack Black is Claptrap. To no one's surprise.
Annoying. I thought that he was the wrong cast person for that.
He tried to do the voice.
Yeah.
You need to hire a different comedian.
We have Gina Gershwin. She was in Showgirls. She's been a whole bunch of stuff. She played Moxie. I thought she was not. Wait, Ellie was in here?
What?
Ellie is listed. Isn't Ellie the daughter?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's what's the car guy's name?
Scooter?
Scooter. Isn't Scooter's sister Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's in here, but I don't remember seeing her in the movie. Marcus is in here. He's played by Benjamin Byron Davis. Excellent casting for that.
Yeah, fantastic.
There's Crom, who is...
Crom shows up for 2 seconds at the end of the movie, so don't worry about him. He's not important. Skip him.
He got a nameplate though at the end.
He did for some reason.
Because he's the Dutch giant. He's also been in stuff, but
he's literally just a dude in armor who fights our people.
He's known for being a large man. So
cool.
I think.
And then the other person with a nameplate was the character Knox, who
was Janina Gavinkar. And I was like, I've seen this lady before.
She's a terrible haircut in this movie.
Yeah, she's awful. I'm sorry, lady.
It makes me regret.
She's a really beautiful woman. She was in True Blood.
Okay.
So I was sitting the whole time. I was like, I've seen this lady before. And then we've said it before, but Eli Roth is the writer, the director, the story by Eli Roth. His name was 5 times in the credits, and he directed Inglourious Bastards, and he's in that movie as well. And
that's it. That's all it matters. Because I don't know. She named a bunch of other things.
Yeah, he does horror stuff.
I've never seen any of them. I haven't even seen Inglourious Bastards. Sadly, I know what it is, but so yeah, we're gonna spoil it. We're gonna
try to remember as much as we can.
But it's gonna mainly be just I'm assuming you've already seen it at this point. And so spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it.
It starts, and I thought that this was not how they should have started it. They start with Tiny Tina, where they give us I think Cate Blanchett is narrating, and it's there's a world.
They talk about because I forget that Borderlands is actually about aliens all the time.
Mm-hmm. The Iridians.
Yeah, the aliens are the ones that built the vaults and stuff. And so they talk about the galaxy and the corporations, but very briefly.
And then Tiny Tina's on this space station, and Roland and just they have some dialogue, and he's like, "Your dad sent me."
Exploding. Your chair is moving. Your dad sent me to get you. So
she's like, "All right."
So she goes ahead, and then one of the bandits escaped from jail. I guess he was in jail.
Well, they were all in cells, so Tina was in a cell. It was almost like a prison. We find out that Tina was experimented on.
We find out that she's technically a test tube baby.
Yeah, she's a clone.
So I don't know why they had bandits in there. Why would they have bandits in there? One of them breaks out and starts attacking the Crimson Guard, and Roland's like, "Oh, let's be friends. bandit guy, and the bandit
Well,
picks up Tiny Tina.
so when he breaks out, Tina says, "Hi, Craig," and then Tina gets like tossed and hits the wall, and so Craig picks Tina up after they become friends, and so now our team is 3.
Yeah, and then we see Nox, which is the Crimson Guard lady, shows up, and she gets basically taken out by Craig, but not before she saw Roland. So she knows that Roland has betrayed them.
And then he like gently caresses her.
I thought she was dead. He was like, "Oh no," but she's not. Spoilers.
So they have like they briefly mention that they have the relationship. Sort of, maybe.
And history means they fucked. That's all that means.
I think Claptrap says that.
Oh, great. I should write Claptrap.
Then we're on another planet. And
some other planet that they...
It's like, looks like New York. Or
I thought it was Pandora. It's not. And then we're hanging out with... I forget. I'm totally...
Lilith?
You know what's crazy is I just saw this movie and it's gone. So
it's an hour and 44 minutes, but then we also had like 20 minutes of previews on top of that. So
Lilith's bringing a dude into a bar.
She's walking around the street. She's got a hood on, and again we're narrating stuff. And she's a bounty hunter, and she goes into a bar, and the guy has a hood on his face, and he's like, "Oh,
she caught the bounty alive. She broke his arm, and she's taking him into a bar to celebrate, but she hasn't turned him in yet. So that's kind of weird, but." You know, I guess
you pay with stuff with your watch.
Yeah, with your credits.
And she knows the bartender, and then this creepy guy approaches her and was like, "I have a job for you."
She starts out with "You're kind of old," and she smashes his head in, and then he's like, "Okay, I shouldn't have started with that. I have a job," and then
she kills his companions.
Well, she's like, "I don't want a job. I have a job. Look at this guy next to me." And so 2 guys point a gun at her, and the bartender's like, "No guns here," and then she just shoots the guys. And
then everyone leaves.
Everyone leaves because obviously.
And she had hit her bounty's head on the counter because he was talking, and she wanted to enjoy her drink. So he's been passed out. And then there's a creepy guy like clapping in the background.
And she's like, "Are you with these guys, or do you just like violence?" Which is, I think, is a good line for the slow clap. And it turns out he's the guy who wants to give her the job, so she just shoots him. But he's wearing not the same guy. He's a different guy wearing a mask.
The masks, which
are those a thing in Borderlands?
Yeah, they're it almost reminded me of when we played Spider-Man and we had those weird
It's like this weird thing you put around your neck and it projects.
It's like a hologram mask thing
on someone else's face. Yeah. And so
he's just using the body, but he has no control except for the fact that his face is projected on this other person's face. So he's like, "Move forward."
Well, yeah, because after she kills the guy that he's
like on the ground.
That guy's dead. So then the guy in the middle who had the job for her that she didn't kill because
she just kicked him in the nuts.
He's a weak guy, I guess, and she can sense it. He puts on the graphic mask. That's that guy's face. And so he's like, "I'm Atlas. I'm from the Atlas Corporation."
She's like, "Yeah, it's implied in the name, dude.
And I have a job for you."
Which we saw when we went to Lilith. We saw his picture already projected on like what building.
Yeah. So they talk about like in the beginning too. Yeah. They have pictures of Atlas and Doll and all that, but they're not important. The only one's important is Atlas. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "I need you to get my daughter back. She's been kidnapped and she's on Pandora." And she's like, "Gross. I hate Pandora. I was raised there. I don't want to go to Pandora. No amount of money will let me go to Pandora."
And then he wires her money.
This? And she's like, "Yeah, okay, never mind. I can go to Pandora."
Then she doesn't have to finish the job if you already gave her the money, right?
Well, that's true. Maybe it's like half. Maybe he's like, "I'll give you more afterwards," but he didn't say that. But anyway, she's like, "I got to turn in this bounty first." And then he just shoots the bounty and he's like, "I guess you can do it right now." And she's like, "Great. Okay." So she goes on a drop pod.
Atlas drop pod, which was from this is when we looked at each other from reading
the book. Because in the book, we're trying to find this guy's son who's trapped on Pandora, and we go from a space station, we drop pod down onto Pandora, and I was
Thank you for flying.
"Oh no, pod. This is gonna be like the book," and the book is so nasty. If you want to read the nasty Borderlands,
or just listen to
we talk about the whole
recap.
thing. It's probably the most insane book I've ever read in my entire life.
It was
I think
Isn't
about
surely
it.
isn't the same author we're reading
Think
for
about
this
it
month?
all the time of how insane, and not like
God.
Borderlands level insane, but like absolute madman. What was
Yeah.
John on? I would love to talk to John Shirley about that book, but I'm afraid I'm going to come off as hostile. But I might.
As long as you compliment him about the
Your Bioshock book was
Bioshock.
good. What happened during Borderlands? Are you okay?
And then we're reading his third one, so
We'll
find out if
giving him another
it's
chance.
Madman or
That's this month, so that'll be fun. Anyway, back to the movie.
So she lands. We meet Claptrap. She has a DNA signature, and
She
he's
has a
like,
little-
it's weird. She's a tracking device for.
Yeah, he gave her a tracking device that was like, if you find my daughter, click on this tracking button. And so she's showing the picture around to like scavenger kids and stuff, and like, have you seen this girl?
This set design was done really well. I
Yeah.
mean, it's your classic Borderlands.
It looks like Borderlands.
Yeah.
I have no qualms. Yeah, so she stops to camp for the night. Claptrap shows up and is like, I'm programmed to hang out with you and help you.
To help you. And until you die.
And she's like, there's no one else knows I'm on this mission. Who programmed you? And he's like, I have no idea. So I'm just here to help. And she just shoots at him and harasses him, you know, like you do with the Claptraps.
Yeah. He calls her rude and.
He's really mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
He never forgives.
Yeah, but he can help her because he has access to like the internet where he can. The Echo Net.
Yeah, the Echo Net where he can see all the like
where Tina
footage.
is.
So she's in this, I don't know.
Junkyard?
Everything looks the freaking same.
She's like in a junkyard.
She's in the
I
junkyard.
think it's the quarry. Because he's like, your quarry has led us to the quarry. I'm Claptrap.
But before she runs into Claptrap, you skipped the Marcus van.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Before she ran into Claptrap, Marcus came to pick her up and was like, hey, Vault Hunter, you're here to vault hunt? And she's like, no, I'm a bounty hunter. Vault hunters are gross and I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care. You're a vault hunter. Get on the bus, which is the intro to the first game. And then he plays a little video about being a vault hunter.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
And it kind of
Why did they play that song when she was on the bus?
because they were talking. It kind of describes
And he
like
shows her a movie.
he shows her a movie about what vault hunters do, which means they have to find the keys and then they have to find the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just drops her off in the first place. It's like Firestone,
Yeah.
which is the first place that you get dropped off in the first Borderlands game. But the doctor's not there. So there's no surgeon doctor guy because he was in the town. That's where you met Claptrap, and that's where you met the doctor. Doctor is scrubbed, pun intended, from this movie. But
Also,
it's okay,
there's no
he's not
vending
important.
machine.
There is vending machines.
Oh, they are. There was one.
They're in town.
Yeah.
There's also one on the bus, if you noticed.
In the
He
back?
had a vending machine
Okay.
on the bus, which was
I was thinking
thought
about
was
the
kind of
doctor
cute.
vending machine thing because I do remember the.
Yeah. So, yeah, that happens. It's just an homage to the first game.
Mhm.
And so we're back forward in time with the Claptrap and the Lilith.
And so they're at the quarry and they're there to see Tina. She meets Tina and she's like, "Your dad sent me," and she's like, "Okay,
Oh, great! I love
Could
my
you
dad.
pick up my?"
He's such a great parental figure and
Yeah.
gives me a lot of love. And she's like, "That's awesome." So she drops her beacon on the ground because I don't know, klutz.
And she like pushes it under. That was
trying.
weird.
She was trying to grab it underneath
Mhm.
her bed, and she saw a bunch of explosives. And Tina's like, "Hey, can you hold on to this for me?" And
It's a
and throws
stuffed
a
animal.
stuffed animal bomb, which you know is what Tina does. So she explodes her base, and then Tina goes up to the top of this structure that she made.
It's like cars and shipping containers.
Mm-hmm. And she's throwing bombs down at Lilith, and Lilith's like, "I'm just trying to get you back with your dad." And she's like, "I don't have a dad. What are you talking about?" And then she calls upon Craig to come, and he comes out of like a food truck looking thing
Mhm.
and
They
attacks
fight.
her.
And Claptrap's like, "Run away!"
Also, we also skipped another part because this is what happens when we try to remember stuff. She had to drive to Tina's.
Oh yeah, this was we talked about this when we were walking back.
She had to drive to Tina's, so she does have a car, and it's disappointed that Scooter isn't also in this. Catch a ride!
Yeah, she stole it from a.
She stole it from a bandit who was
Bandit.
buying children
Mhm.
from the Crimson. No, the Crimson Lance were just there, so she's
Because
sniping.
they were looking for Tina.
The Crimson Lance they saw that their kids in the bandit's car looked like they were making a deal, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's what was happening. And she let the kids go free and stole the car from the bandit. And
Yeah, no catch a ride.
no catch a ride. When the kids were in the bandit cell, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be just like the freaking book.
Mm.
Because there's like, the bandits, do they kidnap people?
Yeah.
When?
Like in the game or in the book?
In the game.
I don't know. They have to get other bandits at some point, don't they?
Well, in this one, they have women bandits.
Yeah, they do.
So.
And they also have little people bandits, which goes with the game. But in town, they're also like non-bandit little people. So.
Yeah. So yeah, she caught a ride, but she did not catch a ride from Scooter.
Oh, she stole a ride.
She's like, I need a ride, and I was like, oh, it's Scooter time, baby.
And then she puts Claptrap in the back where the kids were.
And in the cell.
Although he can let himself out, so it was weird.
He's fine.
Yeah.
This was I have to be honest, I'm never annoyed at Claptrap because I always think he's just kind of a doof.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why people are so mad at him in the game. But I was a little bit mad at Claptrap in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what's your freaking problem? Cool it. Fun quirk about Claptrap in this movie, though, he can't die. He gets shot a bunch, but he just like molts.
Yeah, he
molts.
He molts and then he poops out.
He poops out the
bullets, which was so unnecessary.
It was kind of a weird,
really too long of a scene.
A weird thing that because that's not a thing that's in the game.
No.
You can definitely take out Claptraps,
but he also holds stuff for you too, which was
yeah.
The beacon, by the way, also was broken, and so she gave it to Claptrap to fix.
Mm-hmm. So she's fighting Tina and Craig at the Mome, and then she manages to like trick Craig into seesawing her over up onto where Tina is, because Tina's on the top of this shipping crate thing. And she's like, just come with me, you know? Like, come on, don't make this hard.
She's like, you can talk to your dad, I'll collect the money, and then we'll figure it out.
And then the Crimson Lance show up with Nox and stuff on her little flying motorcycle.
She's like, you led us to her. Which Lilith doesn't...
She doesn't press the beacon.
No, but because you find out later that the beacon is just a tracking device. So they know where she is at all times. But she didn't put that together. Like, I knew that from that part.
The thing was beeping the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And also, Claptrap says that he didn't push the button again.
Yeah.
So he definitely pushed the
button. That
button.
was a good line. She's like, did you push it? I did not push the button. But I can press it again.
I can press it again. So yeah, the Crimson Lance are here, and Tina's like, oh, you can't kidnap me, you in what army? And she's like, the whole Crimson Lance, and then they all show up.
It's very reminiscent of the Stormtroopers, but just red.
This is where
they also suck at shooting
Lilith
people.
kind of changes her mind.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't trust these guys, because they say something about like putting a collar on Tina and stuff, and she's like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna treat this little girl right. I'm gonna side with her now. So she's like, get behind me, and then I wish I could remember what happened next.
Roland,
she like
so she throws the teddy bear at the lady.
Yeah.
Which explodes her own base, and they fall, and so then they finally land on the ground, and Roland appears, and he's like,
up.
I left you here for 10 minutes. It's like, dude, it's been way longer than 10 minutes.
And
they all get in the car.
They all get in the car.
Claptrap's falling behind, and then eventually Craig opens the door and picks him up and brings him in.
Very nice of Craig. Mm-hmm. So they're driving. This is the best scene to sit in those seats with, because it's the car ride. Roland is like, here, Lilith, drive. I'm gonna shoot the Gatling gun at the top of the car. And Lilith's like, I don't really want to drive. Claptrap, you drive. This is kind of a weird steering wheel that you can like pick up and put other places. So she just picks it up and puts it in the middle, and it's like, Claptrap, drive. And she goes out of the car and starts shooting at them. Roland's doing the shooting thing from the top with the Gatling gun. And Claptrap messes up driving, basically. He's like, I'm so good at driving. And then
it's classic Claptrap where he like runs into the bridge.
Which actually worked in their favor because it blocked off an area, but they're still being pursued by a lot of dudes, and they get kind of closed off.
Then Roland
he sees like a don't go this way. And he's like, I'm gonna go that way. So he like just rams into one car, and it causes it to flip, and he jumps over it, and he goes into Piss Gorge. And Piss Gorge is full of piss.
And what are those creatures?
They were the one was a thrasher. I'm assuming it's full of like those
This-
little dog things.
Also, this scene with the window like irritated the hell out of me.
Yeah, so we're in Piss Gorge. It's covered in piss. It's basically like green smoke coming out of everything, like in Borderlands.
And like bubbly
Tiny Tina
water
is like,
stuff.
ew, it smells in here. I'm opening a window, and they're like, don't open a window. Stop opening the window. And she's like, no, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm the chosen one. I'm Tiny Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Because we find out, I think by now, no.
That she's the daughter of. She says that she's the daughter of Iridium.
Yeah.
Iridium?
It sounds good to
Okay.
me. She's the daughter of Iridium, which is what is needed to open the vault on Pandora.
Yeah.
So that is why.
We don't find out later that she's like.
So
cloned,
she thinks
but-
she's the chosen one,
Yeah.
right? Because she kind of is in that way. So anyway, yeah, she opens the window. They tell her not to do that because the place is full of
Pee.
gas and pee. And then they hit a bump and a bunch of pee goes into the car.
And she's like, ew, it's in my mouth.
And they're like, oh, you should have closed the window.
And yeah, the Roland's like, now the center of my car has pee on it. And Claptrap's like, well, actually, it's only 60% urine,
Also has fecal matter.
40% fecal matter. And then they almost crash over.
They almost go over a cliff, but they manage to get out of it. A giant thresher maw comes out of the gross pea sewage. And then the Crimson Lance.
Yeah, they back up into the Crimson Land.
And the Crimson Lance are surrounding them, and Roland's idea is to go into the Thresher Maw's mouth and out its throat on the other side.
He shoots missiles in front of him as they go through. And it works.
And it works.
But they
And
also popped a tire. So.
they popped a tire, so they got out of all the things that could happen, it's just a tire.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. So they're fixing the tire. Craig has to hold up the car. Greg. It's Craig.
They say Craig, but it's spelled K-R, like I-E.
It's Greg.
Yeah. It's like Greg, but...
It's like Greg, but with a K. Craig.
Craig. Yeah.
He's lifting up the car as they fix the tire, and Lilith's like, they're not following us. They should have been following us by now. This is super strange.
And this was just weird and really unnecessary, where Roland decides to, like, aim his gun.
I don't blame him, though.
At Lilith, and then...
She's the bounty hunter, but the fact that he picked her up in the car is kind of weird, but...
And
yeah.
she was helping shoot at the Crimson
Lance.
And
so basically, he's like, you're a gross bounty hunter. You're here to take her back to Atlas. And she's like, listen, the fact that I was shooting at the Crimson Guard, they're going to kill me anyway. So we're on the same team. And he's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now they trust each other.
Now we're BFFs.
I almost felt like it was... Originally, they wrote the script, and then someone was like, this is a plot hole. Why would they trust her? And then they're like, well, let me just write this short scene between her and Claptrap, and then we're all in this together.
What was weird was letting her in the car in the first place.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Tina saw that she was like, get behind me with the Crimson Lance.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, I think I can trust her. And that's why she was like, get in the car. You remember that? Because she was like, I don't know if I should get in the car with Roland.
Yeah.
So
Because Roland's wanted.
100,000 credits.
Yeah.
So they're all friends now.
They go to this.
And we gotta go to Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Which
isn't 2.
Yes.
Is it also in 1? I don't remember.
We talk about Sanctuary. We haven't played 1 in forever.
1 is my favorite.
Was that the one where I was the guy that had the
You were the
bird?
sniper guy, yeah.
Because 1, I was the sniper in 1 and 2, but 1 I was a robot.
2, you were a robot.
Okay, so yeah, 1 was good.
We were Lilith and the guy with the bird.
Yeah.
That's who we played as. Mordecai?
Mordecai!
That feels wrong, or maybe right. I don't know.
Oh, it is Mordecai.
Okay, yeah? Okay. So, yeah, we're in Sanctuary. We got to go to Moxie's. And Roland's like, you know Moxie? And she's like, yeah, because I used to live here. I know Moxie. They are in disguises, so they have like these projection masks on, which a couple other people have on. It's like a normal thing to have, even though her mask, Lilith, is just her face. It's very funny.
And then also you can tell, so you can see her hair, so everyone knows.
Everyone else, even Marcus is there, and he's like, "Hey, I know you. How was the vault hunting?" And she's like, "I don't know who you are."
She's like,
and he's like, "I wouldn't forget a gun. I know that gun." And she's like, "Don't talk to me." And then walks away.
And then Tina's like, "She's hunting vault." So he's like, "I was right."
So they go to Moxie's.
Because they have to... Oh, so Tina tells them that she has... So she's the chosen one.
She's the chosen
She
one.
has one of the vault keys, and they're going to the professor, which we find out is Tanis. And Tanis is in Sanctuary, a place for them to hide, and so that's why we're going there. We go to Moxie's because Moxie will tell us where Tanis is.
Yeah.
I could have done without the Moxie scene too.
It would. I feel like they just had to put Moxie in there,
Yeah.
because she's such a big deal, kind of like Tina, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Moxie like knows Lilith and talks.
She has
to
the
her.
worst color contacts.
She's like,
And
yeah, I knew your mom.
The thing on the heart should have been the cell shaded. Her boob heart.
Her boob heart.
Because it just looked like she drew it with like a
Every
crayon,
morning she
a
draws it
marker.
with a crayon. So they sit at a booth. Craig and Tina are drinking milkshakes, and Roland runs into.
They're so cute together. Those two, the two
Besties.
friends. Yeah. He looks out for
Roland
her, and she's like, "Come on, guys."
runs into an old buddy. He's wearing a mask, and the guy could totally tell. He's like, Roland.
Because they're both the same height.
Roland.
He used to be his roommate.
Yeah, he's like, I knew it was you. And he was like, I'm going to take my mask off. He points at Lilith. He's like, watch it to make sure.
Mhm.
So
So
he goes.
She goes to talk to Roxy.
She goes
though,
to
so he,
Moxie.
Moxie.
Roxy?
Okay, Roxy.
And so that's when Moxie's like, you almost got me saying it.
Your mom really loved you.
Your mom loved you. And she's like,
Which
don't
for a
talk
second
to
I was like,
me.
is that her daughter? And she just can't remember that that's her mom.
That would be really weird. She's like, don't talk to me about my mom. Anyway, how do I meet the professor lady? And she's like, you gotta go to the elevator and you say the word echo, and that's the password. She's like, okay, you got it. So anyway, back to Roland and his roommate. His roommate's like, yeah, buddy, when you were shooting at people, I was like, hey, don't shoot at him. He's my roommate, you know? Ha 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 ha. And Roland's like, yeah, 100%. You're not gonna turn me in, right? He's like, no, I would never. And then he, you know, for a long time, they keep pointing back to him. Like, I'm gonna get him. My hand's on my gun. But then Moxie, right before he can shoot, chases him in the neck.
Yeah.
And is like, oh no, he passed out from drinking. Oh,
And
that's
then
awful.
Claptrap's like, oh, I didn't know electrocution could cause defecation.
Yeah,
So
and so the Crimson Lance walk by and they see, you know, that guy's on the ground, and she's like, okay, you gotta go now.
Can't handle his liquor.
You gotta go to see Tanis now. So they all leave out the back door.
And they go like 2 blocks, then
I thought it was there. I thought it was like
Yeah.
in the building. So they try to put in the passcode echo, but it didn't work until Tina says echo, echo.
She's
echo.
like, maybe you have to echo the echo. Echo. Oh. And then-
I liked the line of like, you guys would never get anywhere
Yeah,
without
without
me,
me.
though. And I was like, that sounds like a Tina line for sure.
Mhm.
So they go up the elevator. The Crimson Lance are talking to Moxie, and they do not believe it seems that he passed out
No.
drunk, but that's okay because they have to believe it because there's no proof.
Mhm.
So they go up and they see Tanis.
And
Lilith is
she knows Tanis.
is like, oh my gosh, Tanis
She's
is
like,
here.
we're leaving.
I don't want to be here with Tanis. And Roland's like, okay, I get you have history. You don't even have to tell me about it, but we have to stay here.
So Jamie Lee Curtis has a history of doing like video game stuff.
Yeah.
Like her kid was really into like World of Warcraft, and so I think she was involved a little bit. Or
He
she
does
would,
a lot of video game stuff.
Yeah, but she was the wrong person for this role.
Why do you think that?
Because she tried to be like quirky. She's forgetful.
And she tried to play that, but I don't know.
I
didn't
thought
think
she was
did.
the wrong person.
I don't
for
think
that.
she did that bad of a job. Who would you have picked?
I don't know. I would have liked to also see, because they did this with The Last of Us, and I felt like they did they do this with Fallout, where they brought some of the voice actors in. Of course, the history of Borderlands voice acting is like, what if Tiny Tina herself was Tanis?
Should have been Zoe Deschanel.
But she would have been a better. I thought, she would have been better.
For my own selfish needs.
It would. It had to be someone who's older than
Yeah, she has to be older.
Lilith.
Yeah, because she knew Lilith when she was younger, Tanis, because she knew her mom.
Yeah.
And apparently, because Tanis comes and talks to Lilith because Lilith's pitching a hissy fit and she goes to her room. And she's like, I can see that you're kind of mad at me based on your body language. And she's like, yeah, of course I'm mad at you. You were supposed to take care of me. And instead, you gave me to like a bunch of murderers.
She's like, I left you with the tradespeople. And she's like, yeah, murderers.
And they're like, well, your mom wanted you to survive, so they wanted to teach you how to be, you know,
So she murdered
a murderer. And she's like, okay, yeah, sure, that's what my mom wanted. Yeah, whatever, get out of here, Tanis. So they also have an electrocution shower. This is a scene where she's like, you guys smell like piss, please take a shower in the electrocution chamber.
And of course, Claptrap's like, oh, me too.
And everyone's like, don't do that. But he does, and he gets electrocuted. But he's fine.
Yeah.
He can recover. He just molts his skin, and he's fine. I don't hate that idea, but it's just kind of gross.
Yeah.
Claptrap's around.
He tells us that she knows where the other vault key is. It was on a manifest, and so they have to go to the corrosive mines. But Claptrap, for some reason, is like rolling around town.
Yeah, he just decided to go. I guess
find spare parts.
I guess because I thought this was because he got electrocuted and he got like a personality switch, like Buzz or some shit, where he's like, "Oh, I'm a suave guy now," because he was like hitting on the vending machines. But then this is the next morning, by the way, so they slept there. This is the next morning.
Oh. See, this part was confusing to me because I was like, why is he out on the town and then the vending machine?
It's morning time. And he hits on the vending machine and then...
we also hear about Tiny... I don't remember when Tiny Tina told us about that she's a clone. It was in this...
I think, yeah, because...
Before or after. So they found a piece of iridium with
Lilith
blood on it.
is on the roof, like, mopily looking out, and Tina shows up and tells her about how... that's not really my dad, kind of. He's my creator. I was made off of a blood sample that they found on a vault key because they need a daughter of Iridia to open the vault. So I'm only made to open the vault.
And there were other clones.
And he's like, once I open the vault, he's just gonna send me to labs. And I've seen what happens to the other clones. And she's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. We won't let your dad get you. Don't worry about it.
And then, so Claptrap's rolling around looking for spare parts to fix what we find out later is the communication device that Lilith gave him that she broke.
But the Crimson Lance see him because they're they're basically interrogating Moxie. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. He just passed out.
And the guy was like, I can handle my liquor.
Yeah. And Nox and the guy's like, look, that robot was with them. So.
And then she's like, clear the street.
Yeah.
But then.
No one's allowed to leave Sanctuary. That we're going on full lockdown. They're here. And so the group has to escape out of the garbage.
So you see these two guys rolling a dumpster. But it was really, because Claptrap then goes up the elevator and was like, hey, those guys are looking for us. And they're like, did they see you? And he's like, they did not see
He's like, would you be mad if I said yes? And they are mad. Now they have to go escape out of the trash. But it was NBD because they escaped out of the trash.
But they're all gross again. And then Tanis has this like clean up hand thing. And she's like, what? Did you want to use it?
Yeah. So somehow they got a car too. Guess
maybe it's
Roland's car.
No, it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. So they drive to the corrosive mines.
They have to go underneath.
And she dips a thing of steel
rod,
in there, and she's like, "Look, it's super corrosive. It'll definitely kill us."
So Tina's like, "I'm the lightest. I'll go first." And so she like runs. And
there's this grate that's like on top. That's definitely like not safe. And so they have to walk across the top of the grate.
And they all go right next to each other.
I know. There's no weight displacement. And I'm like, there's no way that Craig, the bandit, he's so big.
Yeah.
There's no way.
So she falls.
She jumps. She's like, I'm super light. And so she jumped on the grate. And then she's like, look, see, it's fine. Jump. And then she falls.
And then
obviously.
Craig grabs her, and so not only is it his weight, but it's her weight as well as his on that, and it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. Claptrap had to go through the tunnel. For a second,
I thought he was like not on the grate, and he was like holding a pipe up front, which could be an excuse for how he made it through. Maybe he was just like climbing the pipe on the side.
Just some of those flexy arms.
And I'm making excuses for Eli here, Eli Roth. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he didn't think
you
about
see
it.
them all on the
You
grate
do eventually
later,
see them all in the grate
and
later.
you're like, why are you so close together? And then Lilith and Roland have this like quarrel about who goes first and who's like
she's
actually
like, ladies
controlling them.
first, and he's like,
thank you.
Thanks.
Because Janice is there too.
No, Tannis just goes.
She's the last one.
You're right, Tannis is the last
Tannis
one.
is the last one, so Roland goes before Lilith and Tannis.
Yeah.
Ladies first. And Claptrap, they sent through
A
like
pipe to have him open the door.
yeah.
So
They finally get there.
There's this weird scene where they see a flower. Well, Tiny Tina does, and she's like, "Wow, beauty grows in the strangest of places." And you know someone's gonna step on this flower because it's classic comedy that they use.
Yeah,
in
and
every
it's
single
blooming,
thing.
and
It's like, wow, and then Claptrap jumps on it, and he's like, "I opened the door,"
and he's like shimmying, like, "Look what I did! Look what I did!" He's just
dancing.
grinding this flower at them.
And everyone's like, "You're disgusting, and we hate you."
So we're underground in these mines, and there's this lovely artwork on the wall.
Graffiti.
And Greg's like, what did they call them?
They're like blood something.
But they're the underground
bandits that bandits fear, is what they said. They're like blood something.
It is blood something.
It's blood something. And they're like the crazy, super crazy underground bandits who are sniffing this corrosive air.
And lighting each other on fire.
The guy who got lit on fire did a really good job of mimicking lighting a bandit on fire in the game.
Mm.
And I noticed that, and I appreciate it, and it was a good job. He did the same amount of flailing, and I don't know why I know that very well, but I do.
There were no like little bandits on top of
There's no
larger
little bandits on big bandits, but there
But-
were female bandits.
Yes. That's okay. I don't need to see because the little bandits on big bandits just reminds me of
Barter Town.
Yes.
Mm.
Who runs Barter Town?
You say that every time we see them in the game.
Mm-hmm. That's a Mad Max reference for those of you
I'm
playing along at home.
playing along at home. Check your bingo cards, everybody. So they have to find a distraction because there's like too many bandits under here, just like having a ball.
And Claptrap's like, there's a 0% chance that we're gonna survive. And she's like, well, what about if we had a distraction? He's like, I've calculated for all of you, and none of you will create a distraction. And she's like, well, what about you? And he's like, oh.
So they send him out there, and he just rolls right past all the bandits. He's like,
They
excuse
just
me,
slowly turn
everybody.
as he's
Honestly,
going.
they're like, what is that? So he's gonna go give a little speech. I'm surprised.
Written by Tiny Tina.
Written by Tiny Tina.
She's mouthing along as he says it too.
I'm surprised that they waited as long as they did to leave, but I guess they just wanted to do it while the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So they waited for him to give the speech, which was basically like, you guys
Butt-faced.
are all buddy, stupid, butt faces. I hate you so much, icky.
He's like, I apologize for what I'm about to say.
And then they all just shoot at him, all of them. A lot.
And so they sneak out
while they're shooting at
and
him.
He's
like, oh, I'm dead. And
he tries to climb up and then he just falls down, and then I guess
I thought he was definitely, I was like, maybe he might be dead.
I know.
Like, this might be the end. But it's not, because he manages to get to where they are for some reason. I don't know how he figured that out, but he did it. I don't know how he figures out how to get anywhere, but it's kind of impressive how Claptrap's can get around.
The eco
Except for stairs.
Yeah, there's a part of that was funny.
He can't go downstairs or ladders.
Mm-hmm. So to go down into the corrosive mine, he's like, oh no, I guess I'll just wait up here. And Roland just
kick him to see how far down it is. That was good.
Yeah. And so now the team is all in this room with a bunch of boxes, and they're like, how are we ever going to find it? And then Lilith is like drawn to it. So.
Yeah, she just they're arguing over raiders, because somebody brings up raiders, and then
it's like, no, I said blood.
Roland's like, the bloods are down here, not raiders. And then Tan's like, why'd you bring up raiders then? You said there's no raiders. Why'd you bring up raiders? And they fight about that.
Not, but she's
for
like,
hours.
But you keep saying
but
it.
What was great was by the time that Lilith grabs the piece and walks over, Roland's like, I swear to God, Tannis, if you bring up raiders again, I'm gonna shoot you. She's like, oh, I found the piece. I was just drawn to it. Mm-hmm. And then
they're like, it's gonna take us months to look in all of these boxes.
The fact that the blood people don't care about the boxes, and there might be stuff in there, but whatever, they're insane. So they're fodder for this scene. because
And this is the poop scene.
so they're trying to leave. Tannis is like, there's an elevator that way. Claptrap is pooping out bullets.
Well, you hear this like cling, cling, and it's like someone's dropping something, and then
Lilith is like, wait, who's making that noise? And it was Claptrap. And he's like, I have to do this, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to. And he has to poop out all of the bullets.
Too long of a scene.
The fact that he didn't do that when he showed up with them is kind of weird.
That draws the bandits. They fight and attack, and everyone. And then
I was so sure I was watching the whole scene. I was like, this is gonna be the scene where they throw the gun and it explodes. Like she's gonna pick up a bandit gun or something and like chuck it and it explodes. It doesn't even have to come back to them, you know. It could have just been thrown and exploded, and that's the point of Borderlands is to have different guns. Guns were not a big deal in this game in this movie.
Or all the boxes that you could find stuff in
shooter.
too. Yeah,
it's a looter shooter. You need to use all the different weird guns that are in this game. F the vault. Who cares? There was nothing in it anyway in the first game.
Just the monsters.
That was the funniest part of the first game, was the fact that there was nothing. Like, you open the vault and then the game ended and you're like, there's just a monster in there.
Yep.
And that was cool. And I thought they were going to do that in this one, where they just weren't going to show you what was in the vault, which is not true. Spoilers for the future, but
Spoilers for your spoilers.
spoilers for the just double spoilers. Anyway,
So
I'm disappointed that the guns are not as cool as I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
There's so many cool, weird guns in Borderlands, and they didn't. They had like Zabula had 2 pistols. Roland had like a electric shotgun.
And they never ran out of bullets either.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's just Borderlands.
I feel like we ran out of bullets because that's why we kept picking up other guns.
That's why we had to pick up other guns. You're right. You would pick up the bandits' guns all the time, which is why they should have been different weird guns. Oh well, that's my critique.
So people are climbing over boxes, throwing people into other boxes, and then they get up to the spot, and this is the stairs, and Claptrap's like, oh no!
I can't get up the stairs!
And so Craig grabs him by the wheel and like hits his head
Clink,
on
clink,
every
clink,
step up. It was great.
So, like, Roland and Lilith are just shooting all these bandits. They never end.
Tannis and Craig and Tina are heading down the hallway towards the elevator.
Tina eventually throws a grenade at the stairs and is like, we gotta go. So, which is true. They can't just keep fighting this sting forever. So, they go through the little crack in the wall. They're still being followed, so they have to go pretty fast.
Oh, and there's the faces light up above.
Yeah, I hate this. Okay, this is a new thing.
It was very
it's
dark.
It's not a new thing, but it's a thing that they've been doing a lot in movies where they do like the muzzle flash is the only light available kind of scenes that make you barfy and give you epilepsy warnings.
Yeah. So like you could see the masks up above, and then they would like grab, and then they would shoot them, and it would eliminate more.
And that was cool the first time I saw that. By like the billionth time today that I've seen that, stop it. Stop making those scenes. I don't want shaky cam, and I don't want you to do muzzle flash only fight scenes, because to me, lazy filmmaking.
Yeah. So they make it to the elevator, and it's broke, of course. And so she has to use Claptrap. He has to like lift up his suit. He's like, no one look.
They're like connecting wires, I guess. I don't know.
She takes 4 freaking ever, and then by the time they're still fighting,
like
people.
Roland and Craig go off to fight people like somewhere else, and then Lilith goes, and there's like a grate door that you can open and close, and she's closing the door and like shooting through the door.
And then one of the bandits grabs her arm, and he's gonna like put a knife in it, but she dropped her gun, and
so she's trying to get her gun, but then Tina grabs it
and shoots him,
and then gives her back the gun.
Because they're a team.
They go to the elevator, but like Roland and Craig aren't there, so I was like, hello? Are they showing up?
Like Craig is just like beating people with his mallet thing.
What the fact that he ran ahead of Roland, and Roland's like shooting with a shotgun, and I was like, I kind of feel Roland's pain here, where he's like, Craig, I'm going to accidentally shoot you.
He ends up shooting the pipes, which are corrosive stuff.
Yeah, which is the corrosive stuff that is supposed to kill you on the spot, but these bandits are just like huffing it up like whatever. Like Craig is shoving them into the pipes and they're breaking, and the bandits are still alive.
Yeah,
They
they're
look
slowly
no different.
deteriorating.
Their masks are fine.
They're towards the end where it was more goo stuff. You could see that they tried to do the special effect, but I don't
think they did a very good job, because I was like, as corrosive as this was supposed to be, it must not be the corrosive stuff in the pipes. It must be something else.
Yeah.
But
they managed to get back to the elevator, but once again, the elevator
Janice is like, there's
work.
Another pipe or another thing that we need to connect. So Roland sacrifices himself
to connect this really stupid tube.
But I'm like, he like tapes it. Yeah. I think he can still make it.
Yes, but he has to stand there. Because
the
door that Lilith closes now has like 50 bandits on it, and they're hitting it so much that the bolts are coming out of the brick, and so it's gonna fall.
For some reason he has to stand there and do that. I don't understand.
This again was the missed opportunity, because he should have died.
Okay, so yeah, Roland, spoiler for Borderlands, whatever, he dies, and then like it really affects Tina, and that's why the Bunkers and Badasses DLC exists, because it's her coping with Roland's grief of dying. So I was like, Roland is like the red shirt. He's gonna die. I know he's gonna die.
Because he like shoots a bunch of them, but then they all come and they like take him out, and she gives him the rabbit that has
Bob.
Is it Bob?
It says Bob. Yeah.
Okay. And so he throws it, and then
it kills a lot of them, but then more of them come, and he's shooting at them, and then the elevator it just goes up really, really fast.
Yeah, like shoots it out there.
Yeah, and Tannis is like, "There's no brakes on this elevator. We're just gonna be shot out."
Mm-hmm.
And
which they do get shot out, but then they ended up being teleported to a different location.
You could hear the teleportation noise, which I thought was pretty good.
And there was like the flash from Borderlands. There was like that flash too. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh shit, they got teleported. And then Lilith throws up, and Tina's like, I don't know how I did that. I just did it.
Awesome.
I just did it. I'm so cool.
And they don't really know where they are.
And
so Tina's supposed to find out.
Yeah, she's worried about Roland, and Lilith's like, it's fine. He's a soldier. Yeah. He'll be fine.
And this is where I thought they should have done, because he tells them, like, I'll meet you at the vault. Mm-hmm. And in the game, when you die, you respawn at the save point, which they totally could have done here.
They clone you in a way.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a clone of you. That you pay money for.
Every time you come back, yeah.
So you think Roland should have been the one that was recloned?
Yeah.
I think because we find out that Tina is a clone, that she should have been the one.
But when would she have?
I don't know.
Like
died
early on. So Roland's alive, and he has to climb up the elevator shaft, which
he could have just gone back the way they came. All the bandits are dead.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was gonna do. Is he's like, oh my god, I have to walk all the way back.
He just looks up the elevator, and then that scene's over. So he like comes out. He's got the head of the rabbit, and then he's like, thanks, Bob, and
yeah,
and then that was it. So we know he's alive.
He's alive.
That was the point of that scene.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go rest in a city somewhere, or in a mining, because we're in a mining place now.
But it's like deserted.
So we're gonna go take a nap because it's been a long day. It's been a day.
Yeah. Tina and Craig are cuddling.
And Lilith goes and talks to Tannis, and Tannis basically
the key into the other key, and it's a
map, which is just like the game. And Lilith is like, "Okay, we need the third key," and Tannis is like, "We have the third key. It's Tina. It's the daughter of Iridia."
She's like, "Well, what happens when we open the gate?" She's like, "She'll probably be destroyed.
She might die because they say they get consumed when the gate opens." And Lilith's like, "You willing to take that chance?" And she's like, "Yeah, because for science."
Yeah, for science, but Atlas can't have it. But this is the other issue that, like, when I play Uncharted and all this stuff, it's like the bad guy would have never gotten to the end, would have never gotten to the gate if you don't go there first. And
the fact that Atlas can make clones, just didn't, like, once Tina ran away, just didn't do it again. Why even bother? Why not just make another one?
Yeah.
Like, just keep going. Like, obviously,
maybe
one
he doesn't have enough genetic material, because he will eventually say, but like...
But she's seen the other clones, which means...
Yeah. Maybe she's the latest one, and the other ones are destroyed, or...
I don't know, but I feel like if I was a billionaire who was doing unethical genetics, and one of my clones ran away...
You just make another one?
I would probably just put out a hit for him because I'm evil, and then I would just...
No one else can use her.
Yeah. And then I just make another one, but whatever, you know? So...
Claptrap fixes
fixed the little beacon that Atlas gave.
And she's like, did you press this?
Is like, no, but I'll press it again.
I'll press it again, that's what it is. And so she goes out and she decides that she's going to break the device because she doesn't want Atlas to have Tina, and then a little drone
shows up and is like, did you just break the device? And she's
like,
oh my gosh, this wasn't a beacon, a button I could push. And he's like, nope, this was a tracker the whole time.
Yeah, because she's like, this thing was busted the whole time. He's like, yeah, it was a tracker. It wasn't what you thought it was. Mm-hmm. And Tina's watching this conversation.
So he's like, yeah, just bring Tina to me. Otherwise, I'm going to kill all your friends, including all these people. And she just kind of is like, I can't say anything at this moment. So, and then Tina sees that and thinks like, oh, she's going to turn me in. She's a bad guy. So she throws a bomb and explodes the cave that they're in, trapping, it's, now we're into groups of two because it's Claptrap and Lilith. When Lilith wakes up, Claptrap is celebrating her death and then is bummed that she's alive. So it's them, and then Tanis. I'm surprised Tanis doesn't care, but whatever.
Yeah. Because she knew her as a child and
she's like, oh my gosh,
science.
Blew it up, but whatever, for science. Tanis, Craig, and Tina are going to the vault, and Lilith.
Because did we already say when Tanis put the device in the device, the key in the key, then it showed
where the vault
map was. And it also showed this phoenix symbol, which is the savior of Pandora.
Pandora, yeah.
It's like a folklore myth thing. The protector.
So Claptrap and Lilith end up in this town that Lilith grew up in.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I know this place.
This is where her home was, so she goes into her house. It's been graffitied and, like, destroyed.
Mm-hmm. They're still in there.
She finds a picture of her and her mom when she was younger.
And the wallpaper.
Has a flashback to when her mom put her on the helicopter with Tanis. And then Claptrap sees this, like, kid's drawing of a girl with wings. And then he...
Like, has a seizure?
Obi-Wan Kenobi's You're My Only Hopes. Where he has a seizure and then he projects her mom.
And the mom, this was...
My dying message. I definitely thought she was going to say, you're the...
She didn't. I felt the message was pointless.
Message was pointless. So she's like, oh, if you see this, I'm dead.
I love you.
I'm dead. You were a special girl. You were real special and blah, blah, blah. I'm about to die. I loved you. I hope you know this. And then she takes this really long pause. In which you know, if you play Borderlands, that Lilith is the, like, phoenix, whatever. She's a siren. She has the powers. You kind of already know this, but she doesn't at the moment. And so I thought her mom was going to be like, you're a siren. You're the phoenix of whatever. The firebird, or I don't know.
Yeah, the protector of Pandora.
But she doesn't. She's just like, I wish I could hold you. And then the transmission ends. So, and then that's when... she sees the little picture that Claptrap was looking at, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm the chosen one, actually.
And then she's like, Tina. And then she leaves, and then Claptrap's like, whoa, what just happened?
So she figured it out, even though her mom should have said something.
Yeah.
She should have been like, in case so her mom programmed Claptrap to, if she ever showed back up on Pandora, then she would help her, which her mom's message did not help her because it did not tell her that she's the one. And I feel like the amount of time between that happening and us finding that out isn't enough time for you to try to keep that a secret from us, Eli.
Also, if you've played the game, which is why you're watching this movie, you already know that.
You already know. The fact that they were like, oh, daughter of Maria, and I was like, she's a siren. Like, the whole movie, I was like, she's a siren?
And also when Tiny Tina was like, look what I did. And I was like,
She was the one who teleported them. She's the one who could sense the artifacts. So she's actually...
Yeah.
Her mom fucked an alien or something.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know how that works.
Do you automatically get impregnated by the planet if you're...
I don't... Ew.
You're just like...
Maybe.
You're eating the dirt or whatever.
You're eating the dirt.
You're like, there's a baby.
So she's gonna go get Tina. Tina, Craig, and Tanis are at the...
They're going down this really weird staircase thing, and then they get to the bottom, and they're arguing, and Craig's the only one that sees where he's like, power thing.
Yeah.
He's he's the best part of this movie. Not only is he good to look at, Kate Blanchett looked friggin' awesome. And she's got this little like bustier thing.
She's a good pick for Lilith, I think.
Like Lilith and Craig were the best parts of this movie.
So Craig,
Alice, I thought he was also
breaks open the thing. I think he could have been better.
Yeah.
Breaks open the thing. It opens. They put the key in, and before Tina goes and steps on the like tube thing, Tannis is like, I have to tell you this, but you might die.
She's like, step aside, baby girl.
She's like, I won't die. I'm the chosen one. Okay, I'm just gonna get more powerful. So she steps on the thing, and then she's like, nothing happened. And then
I thought I was special.
Comes in Atlas,
and because he's like camouflaged everything.
I guess. So Atlas is the only one here that has like
any technology.
The Borderlands shields that you get. Like they even have they actually look like the shields you get in the game. Yeah. So he put them under his armpits. And so he's shielded up. So anytime anyone shoots at him or anything, he's blocked. But they should have done the Borderlands thing where you just shoot at it enough and then you can kill him. But whatever. He has advanced shields. He's in-game boss. He has a bunch of bandits with him.
Bandits, and then he has
the crimson.
One crimson.
Nox is there.
The weird dude in the suit who
is he?
He
looks like a bandit.
He looked like a bandit.
I think.
Then there's this like giant plane that has guns on it.
Yeah, that shows up, and he's like, "Oh no, she's not the daughter. I need to just try again with the experiment."
And then Roland comes down on a.
Well, they say kill him, right? And Roland comes down and is like, "Don't hurt her," and he's like, "Well, I'll just kill all of them," And then
that's because does Roland shoot at, and that's how we know that he's shielded.
Yeah, Roland shoots at Atlas, and he just deflects it with the shield.
Yeah, and then so he's like, kill them all, and then Nox steps in, and she's like, put down your weapon.
Wait, don't kill them.
She's like, you were right, Roland.
And then she gets shot by
she gets eviscerated.
He can control the plane that's above them with like a super laser that's on it.
Chopped his hand off because he does it with his hand.
Yeah, he does it with his hand, and so he's shoots her, and Roland's like, no, my girlfriend. Lilith shows up
with Claptrap,
and it's like, wait, don't kill my friends. I'm actually the chosen one, so I'll just open the vault. She's like, if I open the vault, you let Tina go, and he's like, I'll do you one better. If you open the vault, everyone can go.
Which, you shouldn't trust this man for anything, because he never keeps his word ever.
So she
teleports down.
Teleports down. Tina's like, but I thought I was the chosen one. And she's like,
you are, baby girl.
You are the chosen one, but in a different way. Mm-hmm. Anyway, give me the thing. She puts it in. She does a little, like, hopscotch step.
She, like, throws it down, which that was not necessary at all. Like,
just dramatic.
Very dramatic. Tina just, like, put it down on the ground, and then she steps on the 2 feet pads, and then
the Borderlands symbol vault shows up. And then sucks
she's got
her in.
Stuff on her arms, like the tattoos.
It takes away her jacket.
Her cool-ass jacket, which she then has again at the end. Maybe she's got...
Well, because in the game, she's not wearing the jacket. Yeah. So she's in her normal Lilith outfit from the first game. So yeah, she's getting her wings. And, Tannis, before she goes into the vault thing, Tannis is like, the reason why your mom wanted you to leave the planet is she never wanted you to open that vault because she knew you could, and she's like, well, it doesn't matter now, so I'm gonna do it anyway.
Like, did Tannis know the whole time?
Tannis didn't know. She just figured that out. She was like, oh, that's right. I forgot.
Worst scientist ever.
She's terrible. She was always terrible, though. That's very Tannis. Let's be real. In the games, come on.
So she, like, is rising in the air with her wings, and then...
She was, like, supposed to be the protector of Pandora, the Firehawk, and she comes out with fire wings, and then she just starts shooting at people.
And then they start shooting back, and they're going to attack Tina.
They throw Tina into a pit, and she manages to bring Tina back up with magical firepower. She puts shields on everybody so they can't get hit.
And they're just rocking everyone.
They're just destroying everybody until she gets shot by the super laser
on the
plane, and then it just like incinerate. She's down.
Yeah. Then she tries to get back up, and it hits her again. She's down again, and they lose their shields. They lose their
shields, and she's KO'd, and Tannis has to wake her up, and they go in this fight scene where she tries to hit the
plane.
And it didn't work out. She like the shields are blocking her. Yeah. And eventually, like Craig loses half his mask. Roland's doing fine. He's living.
Yeah. But Tina's missing.
And she's being held hostage by Atlas, who's like, "Open the vault or else I kill her. I want the vault."
But so she uses the shield. She's like, he's constantly shooting at her, and so she shields, right? She creates a shield, and then that creates a huge laser beam. She ends up crashing the plane and taking everyone out but Atlas and the core
people. And our core people. So yeah, he's like, "Open the vault or she's gonna get it." So she's like, "Okay." So she opens the vault and like pushes them inside. So we actually get to see inside the vault. I'm honestly surprised Tannis didn't go in there, if I'm being honest.
Can you though, or do you have to be? Can you just walk in there like that? Because I think she's the key that walks them in, right?
Maybe Tannis knows that, because I was like, for science, that's all Tannis cares about is this vault. So I thought she would run in too, but she did not.
So there's like these floaty, glowy rock thingies.
We see this in like 2 and 3, where it's just the vault is like alien treasure, right? So it's just a bunch of floaty cubes, which most alien things are nowadays, I feel like.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wow, this is amazing. This is better than
I
ever thought." And I was like, "This is better than you've ever thought." Right? It's just floating rock. Do you even know what this is?
So
like,
true.
What do you mean?
Look at all the power.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's floating like Rubik's Cube." Yeah, like, I don't know what you want. But anyway, look.
Yeah, honestly, so it reminded me of 2 things. It reminded me of the Disney Dreamlight Valley, like Atlantis stuff.
Oh, yeah. It was like every like ancient civilization. This happened in like Starfield too, where they're like, it's just floaty cubes. It's floaty geometric shapes.
It's a little bit also aliens. Like the Assassin's Creed, the precursor people technology.
Get rid of floaty geometric shapes. Yeah. I don't think we need that for futuristic. Why is this futuristic technology? The shapes are pointless.
And so they're having a full conversation, and Lilith is like appearing and disappearing in the darkness, and then she shows up behind him and he's like,
"I have the one thing that you don't. Enough."
And then she takes his shield.
She takes his little shield thing out of his armpit. He had 2, but she only took 1. But it doesn't matter, because Tina manages to kick him, and she grabs Tina, and she's like, "Okay, enjoy the vault." And there's like a big kraken monster thing, which is in the game. I think that is the thing you fight in the first game. Yeah. It comes out of the vault and you fight it, so he gets taken over and they leave. Is the vault just open forever now?
I guess so. She opened it.
I guess she can close it. Can you like take the little key back?
I don't know.
We never show it because we cut to Sanctuary where they're throwing a party.
Yeah. Fireworks, and they go down to get Roland's like, "Let's get drunk."
Yeah. And Tina wants her to do the Firehawk thing and create a firework.
She's like, "I'm too old for that."
But she does it anyway.
And Claptrap has a premature celebration.
He brought champagne, but he broke it. So
he's like, "This has never happened to me."
So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie.
In the credits, Claptrap's dancing, and he gets pushed up out of the screen by the credits. So that's if you're sticking around during the
after
credits.
The little splash screen at the end, which shows all the like main characters. So yeah, that's the movie.
That's it. We'll see how it does, because it's up against some. You have Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Deadpool's wife has a movie out now.
Deadpool's wife?
Well, Blake Lively.
Oh.
Ryan Reynolds' wife. Blake It Ends With Us is out.
All right.
So I don't have high hopes for this movie, but I think if you're a Borderlands fan, I think you should definitely see it. I would, again, not recommend seeing it in theaters, but I would say it's worth streaming.
It's worth streaming, or if you want to get the D seats.
Yeah, that
Deed
was
seats.
it's like a ride. So it's like an extended motion ride. Like
it
at
was
theme
like a
park.
really long Borderlands ride,
Yeah.
which is it kind of reminded me of the Mass Effect ride,
At Great America.
at Great America,
And that's in Cali, California.
And that's only like what 10 minutes. Now you have an hour and 40 minutes of this.
There you go.
It's kind of awesome. So yeah, I think it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I didn't hate this movie.
Yeah, it was alright.
As far as Borderlands go, because honestly, okay, let's be real, guys. Borderlands doesn't even know what it's doing anymore.
No, it is kind of.
It's kind of all over the place. So, as far as Borderlands stuff goes, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See ya.
See you next time.